welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to have a book haul for you guys. I know you guys have probably seen there's been a big change to my bookshelves. I might be recording a library tour since I have rearranged my bookshelves. Don't know about that yet. But today we're going to talk about the books that I have purchased recently. I have my book of the month, I have my aardvark, and then I have some that I have just picked up on my own. So let's talk through them. All right, let's talk about my book of the month purchases first. So I have been interested in some contemporary romances lately. I've enjoyed Emily Henry, Ali Hazelwood, and Abby Jimenez. I almost said Ali Jimenez. And I've enjoyed them. I've really liked them. They've been fun, interesting. Are you guys crooked? My dog keeps bumping the tripod. So anyway, I wanted to go ahead and see what it was like to step outside of those three authors. And so I picked up two contemporary romances from Book of the Month this month. Catherine Center, The Love Haters, and How Freaking Romantic by Emily Harding. Now, these were the ones offered from Book of the Month. I don't know if they're any good. No one's told me if they like these books or these authors. Obviously, they're new releases, seeing as they came from Book of the Month this month. But The Love Haters sounded kind of funny, and it's an enemies to lovers romance where our girl, she's a journalist, she gets told that she needs to follow this guy around and kind of do a piece on him. She doesn't want to do it. She wants to be a serious journalist, and this doesn't feel like serious journalism, and she's stuck following this lifeguard and asking about his life, and she hates it. And so hence The Love Haters. And then How Freaking Romantic by Emily Harding. This is the one, I believe, a girl falls for her best friend's divorce attorney. I believe that is the synopsis here. Yeah, from the synopsis, that is what I am getting. And that sounds like it could be messy, dramatic fun, but drama in a way that is entertaining as opposed to, ugh, really? And so I picked up two more. They're both enemies to lovers, so I should enjoy it on that premise alone. But they're two authors that I wanted to go ahead and give a try. I've heard a few people talk about Catherine Center before, but I haven't read anything by her. And I think I have another book by her that my mother-in-law gave me. So I'm going to give these authors a try. I might even have a vlog of trying contemporary romances that aren't Ali, Abby, and Emily. That is the thing that I have been throwing around in my brain. And then my two aardvark books are, of course, horror. I picked up Salt Bones by Jennifer Given. Now, this one is a familial drama a little bit. It says three women in one twisted family race for answers in this gripping retelling of Persephone and Demeter set in the Mexicali borderlands. And I have really loved like Sylvia Moreno Garcia, Isabel Ibanez, Isabel Canas, and this sounded very up those authors' alleys. And so it's a new author that I've never tried before, but I wanted to give her a try. It sounds like it's going to be a little bit gothic and gripping. And so, yeah, sounds great to me. Want to give it a shot. And then we have House of Beth, which sounds like a retelling of Rebecca. And that is all I really needed to know. Rebecca is one of those staple Gothic novels that I will always love and always will have a special place in my heart as it is one of the formative Gothic novels that I read. And so I'm really interested in how this plays out. I do hear that this gets a little unhinged, and I'm looking forward to that as well. I've really enjoyed tales of unhinged women lately. It has been something that has really captured my attention. Then I went to Target. They were having a sale, 30% off of their hardback novels, and I got Shield of Sparrows. There's a couple of people who have been talking about this recently that piqued my interest. The tagline is, "If you're not terrified, you're doing it wrong." Long ago, the gods unleashed monsters upon the five kingdoms of Kalandra to remind us that humans are insignificant, that we must pray to the gods for mercy throughout our fragile, fleeting lives. I didn't need a deity to remind me I was powerless. Being a princess had never been more than a performance. 23 years of empty titles and hollow traditions. My sister revels in the spectacle, basking in the attention and flawlessly playing her part. I never asked to be a part of the charade. Until the day an infamous monster hunter sailed to our shores, the day a prince walked into my father's throne room and ruined my life, the day I married a stranger. So a forced marriage trope, I kind of like that, or marriage of convenience. Either way, I think that is always a trope that I will be interested in. This is a romantasy. I love this cover. I've heard great things about Devney Perry's writing, so I'm excited to see what she does with a romantasy. She is a romance author, so I have a feeling this is going to have a very strong romance. I am just a little nervous about the fantasy elements of it, but I hope it will be good, and I've heard nothing but great things about it so far. What can I say? When the gods are involved and you say romantasy, I'm gonna be on board. We have the last one by Rachel Housel Hall. There are gods, there are humans, and there is her. Explosive and enthralling romantasy debut. Thrown into a desolate land of sickness and unnatural beasts, Kai wakes in the woods with no idea who she is or how she got there. All she knows is that she cannot reach the Sea of Devour even this hellscape will get worse. If she cannot reach the Sea of Devour, even this hellscape will get worse. But when she sees the village blacksmith fighting invaders with unspeakable skill, she decides to accept his offer of help. I don't know why I got so tongue-tied reading that. I don't like amnesia tropes, but this was too good a price to pass up for how beautiful the book actually is, because this is not the only thing beautiful about the book. I couldn't pass it up. And I hope I like it. I've not heard anybody talk about this one yet. You talk about gods, you say romantasy, I'm going to be on board. Speaking of romantasy, I recently read Spark of the Everflame and really enjoyed it. And so I found these and purchased them. I'm excited to continue this story. The ending, oh my gosh, the ending of Spark of the Everflame, so good, so incredibly good. And I just want to move into this one immediately. Now, I do have another copy of this that I have annotated and will be sending along to my patrons. So I'm excited to get it back and see what they have to say. The first book, I will admit, reads like a 300-page prologue, but I wasn't put off to that because it was a very interesting prologue. And I just want to see where this goes. I've heard a lot of people will give the first book of the series 3.5 stars, 3 stars, but then continue on and give the rest of the books in the series 5 stars. So I just need to know. I need to know. And you will be happy to know that I am returning to my fantasy roots. I have picked up 3 that are epic fantasy, dark fantasy, and 1 that is historical fantasy. And I'm very, very excited to get into them. So Anji Kills a King by Evan Leakum. I have heard nothing but great things about this book. I've talked to quite a few people who had advanced reader copies. And it says, Anji works as a castle servant doing laundry for a king she hates. So when a rare opportunity presents itself, she seizes a chance to cut his throat. Then she runs for her life. In her wake, the kingdom is thrown into disarray while a bounty bigger than anyone could imagine lands on her head. On her heels are the fabled mercenaries of the menagerie, whose animal-shaped masks are magical relics rumored to give them superhuman powers. It's the hawk who finds Anji first. A surly, aging swordswoman who has her own reasons for keeping Anji alive and out of the hands of her fellow bounty hunters, if only long enough to collect the reward herself. So I'm so excited to get to this one. Like I said, it has a very epic look to the book, but also a very modern twist to this epic cover, and I love it. Now, next I have A Song of Legends Lost by M.H. Ayende. I have no idea if I said that right, but I've heard good things about this as well. And if I remember correctly, this is a recent BookBox book. I don't remember what BookBox it was featured in, but oh, she chunky. I'm looking forward to getting back into some chunky fantasy. I absolutely love this cover. This is blurbed by Anthony Ryan. As you guys know, he is my favorite fantasy author. And so I'm just looking forward to this. It says, the Nine Lands have been at war against the Greybloods for 1,000 years. The Invoker clans, warriors of noble blood who summon their ancient ancestors to fight with them in battle, are all that stand between the people and destruction. But the war has gone on too long. Soon a general draft is called by the Nine Lands' reckless king to take the battle to their enemies and defeat them once and for all. A plan that seems doomed to fail. When Timony, a commoner from the slums, accidentally invokes a powerful spirit, she believes it could hold the key to ending the war, but not everything can be invoked is an ancestor. Some of the spirits are more dangerous than anyone can imagine. So many buzzwords for me, so many buzzwords. I'm so excited to get into this. And like I said, people who have had advanced reader copies of this have been loving it. I've seen it floating around in book boxes as well. So I would like to get my hands on one of those copies, but this one is good enough for me. I don't need to spend that much money. And I do hope that they continue to do this so that I do have matching set of them, but it sounds so good. And then another recent release, we have Kingdom of Oak and Steel, The Last Vigilant by Mark A. Latham by Orbit. You guys know I'm an Orbit fangirl, so I couldn't pass this up because that cover is fantastic. Look at that cover. Magic is forbidden, honor is no more. From the darkness, a legend will return. War between once peaceful nations is on the horizon, and the child of a powerful ally is missing. Now Holt Holly, an outcast soldier, has been sent to find a myth, a Vigilant, one of the last survivors of an ancient and powerful order whose magic could be key to finding the child. But the Vigilants disappeared long ago. No one truly expects him to succeed. So, an epic fantasy trilogy again. Whew, I'm getting so tongue-tied, I don't know why. This one is blurbed by Anthony Ryan, John Gwynne. I mean, come on, Anthony Ryan, John Gwynne, right here. So again, very, very excited to get my toes back into the epic fantasy world and read some of these meaty stories that I have been putting to the wayside. Now, these are all starts of series, so that's a little scary. And then one that I keep hearing about and didn't know if it was for me, but I do really like historical fantasy, and I do like historical fiction as well. So I picked up Essex Dogs by Dan Jones. Now, have I heard about this a million times? Yes. Have I looked over it a million times? Yes. Why did I pick it up? I couldn't pass it up when it was $8. I needed to know if I was going to like this because a lot of my friends have really loved this. I've heard the writing is superb, and I just want to get into it and find out if I like it or not. But all I know about it is that the people that have read it have loved it, and I don't know anybody who hasn't really enjoyed this that has read it. So I'm looking forward to getting into this one as well. I'm sure you guys are so excited to see more fantasy in my book hauls and more epic fantasy at that. And I am very, very excited to read them. I also just recently posted series that I want to start and finish this year, well, within the next couple of years. And so I encourage you to check that video out if you have not. But that is it for me. Like, subscribe, do all the fun things, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.